got a hit on our hands, guys.
Soda Pop was never going to be a hit.
Soda Pop was going to be a hit.
I don't think so, honey. I think, it's just not for public consumption.
It just hasn't peaked yet.
You're right.
Yeah, it's
Britney
still
Spears
rising on the charts.
It is. It's on its way up.
Do you think there'll be a hashtag justice for Soda Pop in the same way there was a justice for glitter?
I don't think so. I think Soda Pop got all it needed to get.
I don't know, guys. I think verdict's still out there.
Is it?
Vote below if you think Soda Pop should have a not come back because it was never there to begin with.
Which I think is right. I think we don't need Soda Pop in the lexicon. I think Britney's done so much great work. Why should we muddy it with the Soda Pops of the world?
I listened to the Britney Spears. I was about to say cast recording. The Britney Spears album when it was 1999, and I was like into my musical theater, but I was like, but I'm gonna get this cool album by this really pretty girl. And I remember listening to Soda Pop and being like, pop music is so lame. Like pop music is so dorky and nerdy, and for all the nerds.
That song was lame. You were not wrong about that song. I think pop music, especially in 1999, had a lot going for it, i.e. Heartbreaker, happy 20th anniversary, which, by the way, 20 years since Heartbreaker. That's so weird.
Sure.
I feel like it was just yesterday.
I don't hold the emotional attachment that you do to it, but I'm happy for you that you remember 20 years ago.
You remember it too. I'm sure there were musicals.
I don't think I was there.
You were definitely there.
I was still like, a glimmer in my daddy's eye.
Are you going to be doing this on your deathbed? It's
Absolutely,
I don't know that I was there 20
bitch.
years ago. It's like, bitch, you're about to die. I don't know what to tell you.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another Two Gay Matts podcast. It's Matt Steele.
It's Matt Palmer. I don't know if we have to do that on the podcast, do we?
Yeah, sure we
just
do.
Like
because
intro?
when we have a third person one day, then they'll be like, I'm the third person.
I think that day is
Ashton Kutcher. I don't know why that's the first name I came up with.
He's definitely the first guest we want on the show is Ashton.
If we got Ashton Kutcher, that'd be a guest.
But like, what would we say about him? We'd be like, so how's everything? Were you in No Strings Attached, or what was the other one?
Friends with Benefits.
Yes.
I think he was in No Strings Attached.
Okay. And who was the girl? Was it Natalie Portman?
It was Natalie Portman because Justin Timberlake was with Mila Kunis, and I think that was Friends with Benefits.
Okay.
Oh, we're showing our age here.
I mean, that wasn't that long ago.
It was 9 years ago.
Really? It was 2010?
Yep.
Oh, God.
Yes, 9 years ago. Almost a decade ago.
Oh, my God.
It feels like yesterday, guys.
2010 was that long ago. That was like, what was happening? Gaga was doing what at that point? Pre-Born This Way?
She was wearing meat. She was
Fame Monster and Born This Way?
Yeah.
I loved her then. I like her now.
And she's coming back. She's going to wear a dress made out of something less interesting than meat, but still an interesting dress.
I'm excited for whatever she's going to do next, like musically. I think we're going to definitely get a return to form, like pop music fun-wise.
Well, the opera's coming, guys. Queen of the Night.
Stop.
The Queen of the Night's coming.
I literally forgot that she said that because I just have put it in my, I don't accept this bucket in my mind. Because, you're not doing that. Come on, Gaga. She's not doing that.
I think it'd be cool if she added some operatic elements to
her giant weird pop music.
Her crazy dance pop music.
I'd be happy with that.
Yes,
she's in the studio with Blood Pop and people like that. So I think we're going to get a pop moment. But,
all right.
If we get a Joanne Part 2, I hope you all enjoy it because I won't be listening.
What if she does when she's in Little Shop of Horrors? If she releases an album much like The Lion King, The Gift, if she was telling the story of Little Shop of Horrors, I think that would kind of be fun. A whole album about the story of Little Shop of Horrors.
But I don't know if Little Shop of Horrors needs all that.
It doesn't. But did The Lion King? No, yes. But we got it.
The Lion King. I don't know. I feel like Beyonce adds just such emotional and cultural heft to anything she does, and with Gaga, it's just I'm doing it and I'm going to do a good job.
She can do it.
I just don't know that the story calls for it. I haven't seen Little Shop of Horrors, in fairness, but from what I just read the synopsis actually because I was thinking about going to see. The MJ Rodriguez from Pose is in a production.
Are you seeing the Pasadena Playhouse?
I'm considering seeing it because it's MJ Rodriguez and Amber Riley and all these people that are amazing, and so I want to see it. So I read the synopsis today, and it seems kind of goofy and weird.
Oh, nuts! I think that's a weird choice if it's your first exposure to Little Shop of Horrors. Right. I think.
Should I watch the movie first?
Maybe you should watch the movie first and see what the original is like, and then see what this production's like.
Okay.
Or I don't know, just
Are you going to go see it?
I'd like to.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool to see it. And then there's the off-Broadway production, which is happening simultaneously, which is a pretty like standard production. And people are kind of just like, which one's going to transfer?
I mean,
it could be both. It could be neither.
Wow.
It'll definitely not be both. Why did I say that?
So otherwise, how was your week this week, Matt?
My week has been truly iconic. Like, I cannot think of a more eventful week, just for a trillion reasons.
Yes.
Literally a million reasons.
Yes. Don't say it or sing it, please. My goal in life is to not hear that song again.
I don't even know where to begin. I mean, where should we start about Matt Steele's week?
I mean, it's up to you.
First of all, and guys, you hate to hear it, but Big Brother finale happened.
The thing is, we keep saying this, but we keep getting emails and comments and being like, I'm one of the Big Brother people. Please have Matt Steele still talk about it. So I guess you have an audience. It's just not me or our friend Brian.
The finale was nuts because...
And you were there, weren't you?
I was not at the finale, but I was at the rat party that is hosted by... No, I was not if I was at the live finale, girl, you thought I was at the live finale? If I was at the live finale, you would know.
Oh, right. Sorry, I misunderstood.
No, I was there at the live show when Annalise got evicted. She's the least eventful house guest of this season and probably of all time.
Wow.
So it was a very uneventful live showing that I was at this year. But the finale was insane. Let's just say the guy who won, Jackson, there were some optics problems with Jackson.
He's a full racist.
Well, for a number of reasons.
Yes.
And let's just say that he was called out on it literally seconds before he was announced as the grand prize winner of $500,000. So he came out to confetti looking horrified. And it was just like, oh my God. And I could go into depth about how interesting this season was for all those optics reasons.
Yes.
Because it was definitely more complex than season 15, where it's literally just like Erin's making racist jokes.
Right.
She's racist, so it was definitely more nuanced and microaggression, I guess you could say, in terms of that. So you could really write a whole thesis of it, but I won't talk about it on this podcast because we don't want to be here all day. No. So there was that. And then I went to the rat party where I got to like chill with the Big Brother people. And it's always weird because I go every year because my friend Arthur gets us in. And he's a huge Big Brother fan too. And it's always weird seeing all these people. First of all, after watching them for 100 days live on feeds and on CBS, but then seeing them the day after you just saw them at the finale
and like overwhelmed.
Oh, they're so overwhelmed, and it's so crazy. And I got to meet my favorite player, Nicole, who's the queen. She's everyone's favorite player. She won America's Favorite Player, $25,000 prize.
And Matt Steele was so certain she wasn't going to be there. I'm like, do you think Nicole's going to be there? He's like, no, she's not. It's not like her thing. I don't see her being there. But I'm like, if she knows that everyone loves her, why wouldn't you go to a place where everyone loves you?
I mean, I thought she wasn't going to be there because it's usually at like a big like crazy bar and everyone. Right. It's totally not my scene either. But I just go just because I'm shameless.
I mean, of course.
And so, but I got to meet her, and I got to tell her like, look, I love you. I think you were so wonderful in this season. You carried yourself so well. There has not been a cast member as universally loved as much as you since like 2005. And so I got to meet her. So that was one reason why my week was wonderful.
Yes.
I got to go to a wedding last night, which was also wonderful. Another wedding. We love that.
We love weddings.
But also years in the making, guys. We are talking about the I-Squared, the impeachment inquiry has begun.
It really has.
Queen Nancy Pelosi just stomping through, being like, hey guys, I'm going to make an announcement. Tuesday rolled around and she was like, I'm about to make an announcement, guys. And it was just like, holy shit.
And we've been in this national nightmare for so long that you hear all these horrifying stories that would take down any other president. And you're like, is this even going to affect him? Is the impeachment actually going to even happen? Like, I don't know. I don't want to get too excited. And then when the impeachment inquiry began, it was like, is this the beginning of the end?
Finally.
I fucking hope so.
Fucking finally.
What a trash
because
box.
You hear all these like things brewing and maybe this will happen, maybe this will happen, but like nothing was happening. It was so frustrating. Everything. And Nancy Pelosi had a very good quote that I can't find right now. It'll be too hard to find right now, but it was basically her saying like, I understand that people are very impatient and they want something to happen, and just know, we have to work objectively as the government, and we know what needs to be done, and we are doing what we need to do.
Right.
But that being said, I appreciate and respect your impatience.
Yes.
So that was wonderful on Tuesday. And then Friday morning, you know where my ass was. 10 o'clock in the morning, I saw the motion picture event of the year.
You saw it that early in the morning?
Besides Cats.
Oh, God. Fuck Cats.
I saw my most anticipated movie of the year, Judy, starring Renee Zellweger. We'll talk about it at the end of the podcast, guys.
I have a feeling this is going to come up.
Matt Palmer.
Yes.
How the hell was your week?
My week was good. Similarly, I mean, I was very excited about I Squared as well. I didn't know that's what we were calling it, but I like that.
I decided to call it right when I said it.
I
right
like
when the words
it.
came out
It's
of my
very,
mouth.
Mariah Carey equals MC squared, which we appreciate a throwback.
We appreciate math, guys.
So yeah, I mean, I'm so excited that hopefully something is happening that in which we can get this motherfucker out of office. And it's like, sure, I feel like there are people that are like, this should have happened years ago. Like, why did it take so long? But like, it's better late than never. I feel like it's so, like, the fact that the White House came out and was like, oh no, here's a transcript of what he said to the Ukraine president. And it's like, this implicates him. Like,
bad.
this is horrible.
This is really bad.
This is saying literally, oh, he did the thing you said he was going to do. Why did you think this was a defense? Like,
and the thing that's so amazing to me is he literally is accused of, and he has not been proven innocent of, Russia helping his election, the first election in 2016. And so the fact that he is accused of this, and this is so, we're still in the trenches of that, the fact that he would try to do it again for this election, it's just like, are you an idiot? Well, the answer is yes.
Come on.
The answer is yes, he is an idiot, but it's just like, you are insane. Everything is insane.
I know. It's just like, yes, he's already looking for, if you've been living under a rock for a week, he's obviously solicited help from a foreign country to investigate a potential 2020 political rival, being Joe Biden. He's like, basically, Ukraine said they needed help from the U.S. He's like, I would like you to do a favor for us, though. And first thing, he wanted to investigate this debunked conspiracy theory that Russia wasn't really behind the 2016 hack of the Democratic National Committee. And the other thing was there's a lot of talk about Biden's son. So this is on record. Again, the White House confirmed this crazily. And so it did feel like, okay, there's nowhere to go. Because like, I think honestly at this point, Donald Trump truly thought he was untouchable. Like he thought he was invincible, that no one could take him down. No one could.
Because I mean, the Mueller report came out and everything, and there didn't seem to be enough to fully implicate him right away.
Right.
But it didn't get him off. He didn't get off scot-free here.
Not.
But just adding this to it is just insane. And it's like, okay, the House of if you want to know how the government works, I guess. The House of Representatives.
We're not Pod Save America, by the way. So like, I'm sure there are smarter people that can tell you what's going on. But the fact is we're thrilled. But please go on.
Yeah. So the House of Representatives needs to vote to impeach him.
Yes.
Which they have the votes to do. Which is why Nancy Pelosi is now announced that there was an impeachment inquiry because she's like, we need the votes.
Yes.
But the Senate has to vote 2-3 to actually kick him out of office.
Yes.
So if they implicate him enough, if it's implicated enough, if the evidence is strong enough,
I just wonder those Republicans will turn. I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm just too optimistic. I do feel like this could be the turning point because it's like, are you really going to go down with this ship? Like this, there is so much dirt on this guy that he's been doing illegal shit while president. And like, we've got to hold him accountable. He should be on trial like anyone else who breaks the law is. Like he can't just get off scot-free because he's the president. Fuck him. He's an idiot and he's a moron and he's also broken the law. We have a law there for a fucking reason, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like the Republicans could honestly save face by doing this. But sure, Nancy Pelosi, if Mike Pence is also implicated in this, which Donald Trump has alluded to.
Oh my God. Donald Trump said, in case you're not following this, Donald Trump also said, and maybe you should talk to Mike Pence, who's been talking to the Ukrainians about it. And it's like, are you throwing the vice president under the bus? Please continue. But because, hey, let's have, for the last couple months of this before the next election, let's have a Nancy Pelosi president.
Of course, we would love. So we'll all see what happens. We're all watching closely. And I mean, I just am excited and hopefully hopefully this all goes our way, and hopefully we get, a nominee who, of course I will vote for Joe Biden if he is the Democratic nominee, but like if this could help Elizabeth Warren kind of slip up to the top, that would be cool for me. I think she's my person I'm backing the most right now.
Yeah, I'm very much Warren or Harris.
Yeah.
Harris, Warren. I would love. So,
okay,
but the poll numbers show like Warren is moving on up, and Harris's poll numbers have kind of just sort of stayed the same.
Right.
So yeah, I guess it's Lizzie for me. But like, I'll vote for Joe.
I will vote for anybody.
Whatever person is the Democratic nominee.
I will do it, and I hope you all will too.
I will give them flowers personally.
So otherwise, outside of obviously that big news, my week has been very good. Like nothing too crazy has happened. My mom is coming into town this upcoming weekend.
Oh.
So I today got my car washed because I feel like she's very much like, going out with a dirty car is like, not washing your fucking clothes. And I'm like, well, I agree, and I don't want you to get into see my new car for the first time and not be clean,
and it's a new car, and I feel like if a car goes a while without being washed, like you go to wash it next and there's still just it needs that continuous polish.
Yes.
So since it's a new car, you're starting it off on the right foot.
Right.
It's like washing your white it's like constantly Windexing your white shoes when you first get them.
Exactly. It makes a difference.
So it makes a difference.
Yeah. So I've been kind of prepping for that and like getting things in line for what we want to do. I mean, my mom is similar to me in that like we are people of habit. So every year we go to every museum.
I mean, she comes literally every September, October.
Yes. And she's like, I want to go to the museums. I want to go to the Broad. I want to go to, the frickin'
Getty.
Getty and the Getty Villa.
The Getty.
And the thing is, I feel like my brother has like made a joke about how we do the same things every year. And it's like, hey, if it ain't broke, you know what I mean? I'm going to try to find other things we can do and, and be excited. But the point is you get to see your mom. She's in town. It'll be very fun.
Yeah, your mom, she cooks for you.
I know. And even cooks for you.
She cooks for me too. I had some salmon last time.
I know. It was great. So I'm very much looking forward to that, taking the Friday off so we can have all of Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. By Monday, she's kind of like, all right, go to work. Like that's enough.
She's like, I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna read. I'm gonna watch some TV.
Right, and then
she knows how to work the Apple TV.
I know. She's
my mom.
than you.
Lord, if my mom tried to work the Apple, she would have no idea what she was doing.
It takes a minute, but I usually set it up and I make sure that the audio is already on for her.
I don't even know what I'm doing with that. Like there are so many times I'm literally trying to work the TV and I'm like, Matt, can you help me?
I know. I mean, one of us has to be the tech savvy one, so I'm happy to be that person.
Not me.
It's not, but everyone's different. So my first news for Idiots moment was the actual news about Donald Trump, which we've kind of already discussed. So
yay.
Outside of that, I must say this week was a little light on the celebrity news and celebrity gossip. So we're going to be talking about some stuff that maybe normally we wouldn't, but Demi Moore wrote a book.
Wait, what? Okay.
This is what I'm saying.
Okay. How light was the news?
It was light.
Wow.
Because everyone's talking about Donald Trump. What else? I mean, what celebrity gossip?
And Big Brother.
No one's talking about that. I mean, okay, basically Demi Moore has come out with a tell-all memoir entitled Inside Out. And there's a lot of bombshells in there. Like, apparently she supposedly took John Cryer's virginity, but he denies that on Twitter.
I was wondering, I literally just saw a headline saying, John Cryer says Demi Moore did not take his virginity. And I was like, should I click on this? And I was like, no.
You were wise not to. The most... I don't know, the most bombshelly of all of the items that she posts about are apparently during her marriage with Ashton Kutcher, who we just mentioned as a future co-host.
How did I know?
I don't know.
I'm just so intuitive.
You are, yes. And so apparently there were cheating allegations in the book about how Ashton would be outside of the marriage because while they were married, Ashton talked about how he wanted to have threesomes and invite other ladies into the bedroom. And then to me, trying to be like, trying to be cool and open-minded and in it for him, it was just like, yeah, sure, we'll bring other ladies to the bedroom. It's fine, whatever. We'll all be together and like, I'm cool and fun and whatever. So I'm the cool mom. I'm the cool mom, not like a cool wife.
I'm the cool wife.
I'm a regular wife. And so eventually when Ashton started just cheating on her with other women, he felt like the lines were blurred because of that threesome, the threesomes that they would have. It's like, well, you didn't mind when I was having sex with other ladies when you were there.
Ashton.
What difference? It's like, sweetie, that is a thin argument.
Ashton,
a thin argument, right?
Piece of shit.
I know. It's just like, So now apparently, of course, Ashton and Mila Kunis are like not thrilled about revisiting this past and like doesn't, they're kind of just like, I don't know why we need to be talking about this. But it's Demi's story, and he did get a heads up that this was coming out, so it's not like a complete bombshell surprise about that. But
is Demi Moore still like friendly with Ashton Kutcher? Because I know she and Bruce Willis are still like buds. Like
they're buds.
My not to like, this is like my celebrity brag. My ex-boyfriend used to date Rumor Willis.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he used to date
I didn't
her.
know that.
He used to date her in like middle school.
Oh.
Like they went to school together. He's from Idaho, and they both, Demi Moore and Bruce Willis, both have houses in
Sun
Valley, Idaho, and they're like next to each other or near each other and everything. So like sometimes my ex-boyfriend would go to like Demi's house. Sometimes he would go to like Bruce Willis's house.
That's so weird.
And they would like. And then he stayed friends with Rumor Willis when they were teenagers and everything. And he said that Bruce Willis and Demi would just like hang out and like watch.
That's great.
And like play games together and everything. So it's good that they remain friends.
Absolutely.
I don't know if she was like that with Ashton.
Do they have any kids, Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher?
I feel
like they don't, but I don't know that. I feel like they don't. So I mean, I assume there's probably more distance there because like if you don't have kids, like why do we really need to be that close afterwards? But that's the thing that happened. I mean, I'm a little curious about reading the book, but it's like I probably don't care about Demi Moore's life that much that I'll read it. But I'll read like the highlights and see if there are any other bombshells. But
sure, you'll go to the bookstore and like just open it up.
Yeah, maybe there's a Cliff Notes version out there.
Sit in the Barnes and Noble cafe and not buy the book.
Do you have any strong feelings about her as an actress? Do you have any?
I actually like Demi Moore a lot.
Really?
I think Demi Moore is a talent. I think she's a very interesting actress. I actually really like Demi Moore.
I'm trying to think if I've ever even seen her in anything.
Oh, you've never seen Now and Then?
No, I've never seen Now and Then.
I love Now and Then. You've never seen Ghost? Best Supporting Actress winner 1990, Whoopi Goldberg?
No, I know about, that's the one with Patrick Swayze and like he's a ghost and they make a pot together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that.
Oh yeah, no. Now and Then is just you would love it.
All right, I guess I gotta watch Now and Then.
Yeah,
all right,
Now and Then is great.
Demi, I got some stuff of yours to watch, I suppose. In other news that I know that I've been banging on about for weeks, but I told you I'd only talk about one more time, and that's if it came true. Jennifer Lopez, she's the new Scarlett Johansson. Jennifer Lopez and Shakira are co-headlining the Super Bowl halftime performance. It's happening in Miami, and I feel like the thought was, it's a nice way to have like two Latina performers in Miami, even though, J-Lo's Cuban and I think Shakira maybe's Brazilian. It's not exactly...
But like Florida.
Yeah.
There's a big Latina population in Florida. So
You're into it?
I'm into it.
Okay.
I think it's a fun choice. And they both, combining their catalogs together, have enough.
Right. That's the thing, is I feel like this kind of is a good solution to the problem that I kept bringing up. And so far as J-Lo does not have the catalog to headline a show by herself, but I think to have the two of them co-headlining, and also there's talk of having like other Latino artists involved, like maybe Pitbull supposedly is in talks according to TMZ, maybe those guys who did Despacito, I feel like there's a way to make this kind of like a big Latino moment that there are lots of people being involved in, but it's not all falling on J-Lo's shoulders to like pull out the hits that she doesn't have. And so I think that's good.
So what do we think of Shakira's will be shown? Obviously, Hips Don't Lie.
Hips Don't Lie.
Which is for some reason a song that Matt Palmer doesn't like.
I don't like it. And I also completely forgot that it existed. Fine. No, it bugs me. I assume, I don't know. I find it annoying. I think it's annoying. Hips Don't Lie, I assume Whenever, Wherever.
I love that song.
That means a classic. I mean, Underneath Her Clothes or Your Clothes.
Underneath Your Clothes.
Yeah, that could be. I remember that song, but I don't know if the world does.
They do. I feel like that's a known song.
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like
it was big where in Jersey.
Was it? Well, I just feel like in the US there are no certain Shakira hits outside of Whenever, Wherever and Hips Don't Lie. But I'm sure she has more, especially she always kills it sales-wise in Central and South America, I'm pretty sure. So she'll have hits for people. And between that and J-Lo's catalog and the Pitbull has hits on hits, even though he might not be the most exciting or like iconic artist of himself, he like has hits that people recognize.
Oh, totally.
So I think they'll be able to pull together a halftime show that'll be worthwhile.
Definitely a great, I think it'll be a fun show, a great show. Not as iconic as, Carol Channing's When the Saints Go Marching In back in 1970.
Oh, I missed that one.
It's crazy because you actually were like
I really wasn't. Thank you.
Also, speaking of Jennifer Lopez this week, both of us finally saw Hustlers this week.
It was good.
Yeah, I liked Hustlers a lot.
Good.
I think the use of music in Hustlers was
unbelievable.
excellent.
I completely agree.
Just from the beginning, this is a story of control. I was just like, oh my God. And then were there 3 Janet songs or were there only 2?
I know Janet came back in at the end. I feel like Love Will Never Do Without You was in it at some point. I don't know.
There was Britney, and the best thing ever, which you don't care about, the use of Jacques Brel's Next in the montage where they're drugging and robbing the men.
Right.
It was one of the most I think I tweeted this. It's one of the most inspired musical moments I've ever seen in my entire life that put in a movie. Like, it's so great.
What is the song?
It's a song. It's a composer, Jacques Brel. He wrote songs back in the 30s. I don't know. It was some time ago.
Yes.
Actually, they're 60s. I don't know. I just know to bring up my ex-boyfriend again. Jesus. He was very into Jacques Brel. And he has there's a review that was off Broadway and it's been revived. I think once, called Jacques Brel is Alive and Well and Living in Paris. And my ex-boyfriend sang Next for vocal performance class. And it was like it's an amazing song.
Yeah.
And so that's how I know the song and that's how I knew that moment. And I was like, this is brilliantly done.
Right.
I loved it. And J-Lo I thought was good.
She was good.
I thought I think her best moment was this scene, her very last scene when she was pulling out the pictures.
Yes,
and she
that was
showed
good.
Constant Wu's picture in the wall. I think she had a lovely acting moment there. So, I think if she got a nomination, I would not be against it.
All right. I know I agree. I think J-Lo did a great job and I also loved the use of music. The most effective, not the most effective, but I just thought as a plot device of having, you knew when years were, at least I knew that when years were changing, when it was like, this, like when Britney's Give Me More was on, it was 2007, but when Usher's Love in This Club came on, it was 2008.
Yeah, just the use of music in that movie was so great.
Yes, it like really puts you in a place and time, and like I don't know, at least for me as a pop music person, I was able to follow along as to like, how much time has it been? I was like, it must have been a year since in between these 2 scenes because that's when these songs came out.
I'm sorry, I just have to look up the Jacques Brel, like what year, because I feel like I'll look like an idiot if I don't clarify.
I mean, I don't think people really care about that, but I will.
You know what?
I do think so. We did get an early tweet on the podcast where that people enjoyed that we looked up our facts and weren't just spouting things off. And since then, we've only spouted things off.
I'm all about that. Okay, he died in the 70s. Okay, so he didn't write in the 30s. He wrote. I'm assuming because he was born in 1929. So I'm assuming I'm not going to go full into it, but the 60s. I'll look it up and I don't know.
Wait, and he died in the 70s?
He died in the 70s.
How old was he?
He died in the 50s. I know.
That's so sad.
R.I.P. Jacques Brel.
May he rest.
Hey, his legacy lives on in
Hustlers.
In Hustlers. Keke Palmer being like, "What's your mother's maiden name?" I was like, yes.
Especially, I loved Keke Palmer in it too. She was
very good in it.
She's such a queen. And also, I love the use of Fiona Apple's "Criminal." What a great song performance when J-Lo first did her performance. But that was great. Okay. Also, in other news, again, it's light. Apparently, The Joker is a movie that's coming out, and the Joker film garnered rave reviews when it premiered at the Venice Film Festival and won the event's top prize. The critics' reviews were largely positive, though many expressed concerns about the film's content. The film offers a grounded portrayal of the titular Joker, played by Joaquin Phoenix, as a loner who feels mistreated by society and escalates to acts of violence against the wealthy and becomes a hero of sorts of the working class. So this is getting a little bit of negative feedback because, we're living in a world now where like all of these white men who feel ostracized do turn to violence. And, that's just like something that's happened in our country for a long time, especially with people that are white supremacists and just like horrible. But if they feel like they have been turned away from society in any way, especially including like women don't want to sleep with me, they'll like sit, they'll write a fucking manifesto and then like kill a bunch of people and kill themselves. And people are watching the movie and feeling like we don't want to support that narrative as being valid or someone who should be a hero for anyone. And so the director, Todd Phillips, is not taking the criticism terribly well because he blamed the far left, which is just a funny phrase to me, for some of the criticisms of his film. He basically said, I think it's because outrage is a commodity. I think it's something that has been a commodity for a while. What's outstanding to me in this discourse in this movie is how easily the far left can sound like the far right when it suits their agenda. It's been really eye-opening for me. And to me, it's like, if by far left you mean people that like don't want to, assist in mass murders and like want to like not support that, I just think it's a little aggressive. My thought is like, well, there's violence in a lot of movies. Maybe this storyline is specifically something that rings true to people who live in America, because that is the story we've all heard. Like, oh, he was a loner, like he was a good kid, but like just didn't have many friends, and like all of that shit. But I feel like there's so much glorified violence on screen all of the time that I don't know that the Joker should be only the only one that's getting this criticism. But like, to me, it's like we're so obsessed with not seeing sex on screen, and we love seeing guns. And it's
but
weird.
the thing is, like, there are movies like The Joker that have been coming out forever. Like Lord Knows Taxi Drivers, like just a guy, a loner, misunderstood, goes insane, kills people. Like, you know, so there have been movies like this before. There will be movies like this in the future. I think the fact that it's just The Joker that's coming out now in this time. I say this as someone who's actually looking forward to The Joker because I like Joaquin Phoenix as an actor a lot, actually. Even though, you know, he has his method moments where it's kind of just like,
I did read something insane about like him filming that movie, and the tweet was just like, imagine a woman doing this.
Oh my God.
Or it was like, men are so exhausting. One of the two.
Yeah, because it talked about how he like would storm out and all this. So well, we can find
Grow
it.
up.
But I say this as someone who's looking forward to The Joker, who genuinely like does not care. I don't know anything about comic books or DC Marvel worlds. You know, I'm genuinely interested in it because it looks a little different from those.
Yeah.
I can see why people are tired of it. Like, I can see why people are tired of that narrative. It's kind of just like, oh, we see this all the time. How come we don't ever see like a movie where like a girl goes insane?
Right.
You know, so it's I get why it was made, and I get why people are excited for it, and I'm excited to see it. And I hear his performance is incredible, but I understand why people are just like exhausted.
Yeah, and it's also just like the glorification of this narrative of like loner white guy goes on a killing spree is like, it's kind of like read the room a little bit. Like, even if it's very well made and very well acted, it's just like maybe right now is not the time. It was like when the Heathers movie or Heathers TV show reboot got like kind of pulled out before it even came out. It's like, it's just maybe not the right time for this.
Now. And like, who knows, who's to say like that I not trying to glorify it, obviously, but like in a way, like he does not become a hero, but it's important to create characters that even if they are messed up, you try to find ways to empathize with them. And I feel like these characters kind of end up becoming heroes in a weird way. Like Taxi Driver, he kills a bunch of people, but like everyone still quotes, "You talking to me? You talking to me?" Like, and as if it's like a fun, cool thing.
Right.
So, you know, it's good to make movies with these complex characters, but I can also understand why people are tired of it. That's what I have to say about that.
Totally. Yeah. All right. Well, one last piece of news, which isn't really news. It's just me talking about it.
Okay.
This Is Us came back this week. And okay, the season premiere, it was the season 4 premiere. And if, you know, Matt Steele's not a This Is Us head like myself, so just so we're all clear and caught up, it's like a time jumpy moment. It stars Milo Ventimiglia and Mandy Moore as the parents to these 3 children who one is adopted and black and the other 2 are 2 little white children. And but it fast forwards into a time in which Milo has passed away and Mandy is a grandma, and they're all adults, these young kids. And so basically, between those 5 people and like the 3 children's spouses, and one of them just had a baby, and like the one family has a bunch of kids, there are a million characters on this show already, right? So the premiere, what it does, it introduces you with no real introduction. It's like you're kind of seeing old school Mandy Moore a little bit, talking with Milo. Basically, she's about to meet his parents, or no, he's about to meet her parents for the first time, and that's a storyline. But you're also invested in all the other kids and the different times that they exist. But the rest of the episode is centered around 3 different storylines with new characters that you've never seen before.
Okay.
And so I'm watching this, and maybe I am. And if you haven't seen the episode yet, then this is a spoiler. So fast forward for a bit. So basically, they were following this young black kid who is like a single father, and like trying to make money for his child and maybe falling into the wrong crowd doing that, even though his dad is trying to steer him in the right direction. We meet his dad, we meet his mom, we meet the child, we meet him, and I'm like, who the fuck is this? It's just like we already have people that we're paying attention to. We have this lady who was a military officer, and she comes back and she kind of has PTSD, and she goes to, you know, meetings about it, and her family's falling apart because of her PTSD. And I'm like, who the fuck is this? And then you see this blind guy who is a musician and falls in love with this waitress, and later on you find out that like he becomes very successful, and you're like, who the fuck is this guy?
And how long is this going on? Like the whole episode?
The whole episode. It will cut back to Mandy Moore and Milo and their young times and like their storyline, but like nothing about any of the other characters that you know.
Okay.
At the end of the episode, you find out how they're all connected, and apparently the kid who has the child who has a child is going to be a love interest for Sterling K. Brown's daughter, who was adopted, named Deja. So Deja appears in that storyline. And then for the lady who is a military person, comes back with PTSD. Milo's brother, Nicky, who is also a veteran who has PTSD, throws a chair through a window. And so you see that they're going to have some sort of connection.
Milo's brother?
Yeah, Uncle Nicky, who's played by the guy, Uncle. This is what I'm saying. There's a million characters. He is, so they're going to have a connection. And then also you find out at the very end, the blind kid who becomes a very successful musician is the child of Kate and Toby, who we find out is blind. So this is like 30 years.
Kate is Christy Metz?
Christy Metz, yes. Christy Metz and her husband have a child, and we're told at the end of the episode that child ends up being blind.
Okay.
And then you see that the blind kid is the grown-up version of that child. He does music because Christy Metz and Mandy Moore did music, but they never became successful, and so he becomes successful. And I feel like I'm kind of alone in this feeling, because at the end I was reading tweets and everyone was like, this is so beautiful, This Is Us has done it again. You're thinking like, what is this, what is this, what is this? And by the end they tie it back, and this is so great and wonderful and how iconic, and like this is so groundbreaking and moving, and I cried and I cried and I cried, and I'm just like, fuck all of this. There are so many people on this.
I'm confused.
I'm confused.
This is like the entire series of Degrassi in one episode.
It's
like,
literally between Jack and Mandy Moore. It's like we're spanning now 150 years or something. And it's just like, this is too much.
Okay, but the real question is, when are they bringing back the gay hairdresser?
Honestly,
that got cut out of the Halloween episode season 2. That's
what people want to know.
Who is really us, guys.
Honestly,
the gay hairdresser who was cut.
This is you, girl.
That was me.
It was you.
That was me. And then Regina King cut me out.
When I saw that episode of all of these new people, I was like, they honestly should have put you as someone. And I realized they had to get a real blind actor to play the blind role. But it's like, that could have been Matt Steele.
It could have been Matt Steele.
Like he sang, and it's like, his voice isn't that great. You could have But I get why they would need an actual blind person to play the role. And maybe I will continue watching the show. And apparently it was planned for a long time, that midway through the telling of the This Is Us story, they were going to bring in a lot of new people. But it's like, I feel like the last thing This Is Us needs is more people. This cast is humongous, and I'm emotionally invested in like 70% of those storylines, but now we're adding in 3 more storylines with like 8 more people, and so now I'm down to 40% that I care about. And it's like, I understand how they're connected, and that's wonderful and great, but like, can we not just give enough to the people that are already there? Like, we didn't see Sterling K. Brown the entire episode.
Look,
and
this is like, guys, this is why sometimes I just don't fuck with TV, because like it becomes there are TV shows that are so good, and then they have to keep being good, and they have to keep grabbing your attention. They just end up doing so much, and you're just like, and sometimes it becomes a little scary. But you know what? It's keep an open mind.
I'm trying to,
and it could be great if the writing is strong.
Yes.
Then it will hook you in, and you will care about that little blind boy who could have been me.
Exactly. Well, you have your say. But yes, I'm going to keep watching. I'm just a little nervous.
And hey, you never know when that gay hairdresser might pop up.
That's true.
Oh my God, what if like the season premiere, for those of you who don't know, I had one line on This Is Us once, and they cut me out of it. Yeah. And Regina King was the director. Yes. But so that's what we're talking about. But What if like during the season premiere, all of a sudden just like a gay hairdresser pops up,
Oh
and all
my
of a sudden
gosh.
I just didn't tell you. Oh yeah, didn't I tell you I'm a series rag on This Is
I
Us
would
right
love
now.
you. I would be so happy. I'd be thrilled. And I'd be like, when can I meet Mandy Moore? That would be my first question.
And I'll like show you. I'll be like, oh, we hang out on set all the time, and like it'll be a video of her like singing one of your songs because I already sent her a video of you singing Gardenia.
Oh my God. That would be amazing. How do we make that happen? That's the This Is Us expanded version I need.
It's gonna happen.
All right. We're putting it out into the universe.
All right,
They owe
guys.
you one, honestly.
They do.
They do.
They do.
All right, guys. I think that's it for News for Idiots. There's not a lot going on outside but the impeachment. But hey, the impeachment's all I need to get me through the week. So
Yeah,
thank
impeachment,
you.
Big Brother. Let's go.
I mean, Big Brother's over.
But that finale was so intense.
Okay, thank you so much. We'll be right back. If you want my love, and that's all right. No?
That was like TLC mixed with Michael Jackson.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, you edit that.
I mean, that's what Michael
How did you
would
do that?
I used to do it a lot.
I can't do it.
I know, you got to work at
It's like
it.
a whistle, like how you can do it, but I can't.
You're sucking in, that counts.
Yeah, I can only do it sucking in. He can do it by like actually doing it the correct way. Which like, but like, is there a correct way to whistle?
No, we're all working together. All right, I started. You can go.
He like pushed a
No, I
random
just
button.
was saving.
He like pushed a random button on the keyboard, and I was like, "Wait, did we have to
When that
pause?"
still like fully stops. Like,
I was
no,
like, I don't know.
you can go, girl.
I'm not a professional at this. He's the one with the degree. I
am.
Okay, guys. So anyway, welcome back to Two Gay Mats. We are now part of Email My Heart, which is everyone's favorite section where you email us questions and we answer them. And it's because it's the only section where you email us questions and we answer them.
Yes.
So if you want to be a part of Email My Heart, you can email us at twogaymats@gmail.com. Two is spelled TWO. And we got a lot of emails again this week.
I love the weeks
And
we get a lot of emails.
so-
Thank you guys so much for sending emails.
I know we love
honestly.
them. We really read all of them, and
Yes.
we're just going to pick 2 each week. I think we're going to
Yeah,
decide
I think
because
that's
some of
right.
them are kind of more complex to answer, or we don't know how to answer them.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be like Panera. It's gonna be like a you pick 2 situation. But keep emailing us because we love giving you a
Is
shout.
that a
out.
Panera thing?
Yeah, like you pick 2. Like you get a half soup and half salad.
How often are you in Panera that you know like the...
I love.
do you?
You didn't know this about me? I
don't think
and
I
it's
did.
devastating because there are so few in LA.
Oh.
So like I go out of my way to go to Panera sometimes.
I went to a Panera like in the recent-ish memory because there's one near my office and I like didn't bring food that day. It's from home, like prepackaged. So
Yeah, yeah. I
one in
imagine
Studio
it's the
City?
same Panera. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I go and I bring my Panera gift card. 'Cause
I didn't know that you
Oh,
were
yeah.
so into Panera.
I love Panera.
Wow.
A Red Bull, cream of chicken, wild rice. When it's cream of chicken, wild rice day, you better believe my ass is there. Getting my cream of chicken, wild rice in a bread bowl. Yes.
I didn't know.
Oh,
the more
my
you
God.
know. You can always learn more about people.
Anyway, so this question is from Eric.
Hi, Eric.
Greetings, Matt P and Matt S. Been a big fan of the channel for a couple years now and excited to finally be writing an email for his favorite segment, Email My Heart. He has 2 questions.
Love.
Since we are at the end of the decade, I have an Oscars question. In your opinion, what are the best and worst Best Picture winners of the decade? For Eric, it would be Moonlight as best and Green Book as worst. And the other question is, I guess, more for Matt Palmer's sort of situations, but it's the same thing with the Grammys. Best album winner,
Ooh.
best album of the year winner
me
of
look
the
that
decade,
up.
and the worst. Eric's favorite is 21 by Adele, and his least favorite is The Suburbs by Arcade Fire.
All right.
So I'm going to talk about the Oscars one first, just because, that's
you know
my
things.
bread and
I
butter.
agree about Moonlight. I probably haven't seen all the Best Picture winners, but
You haven't, no. But I would say it's either between Moonlight or Birdman, which Matt Palmer does not like. Matt Palmer, when we watched Birdman together on our TV in the living room,
Fucking hated
he
it.
enjoyed it for the first like half hour, I would say. And
I
then
did.
as it got more and more and more Birdman-y, he did not like it. And
the
he hated
ending,
the ending. I
it was just,
love
how
the ending.
dare you waste my time?
So yeah, I would say between Moonlight and Birdman for me. Moonlight because obviously like the writing is just incredible, especially that third act is just absolute perfection, and Birdman because of the technical aspects and because I love Michael Keaton so much.
Oh, God.
And all the other Best Picture winners, I have to say like there's not a Best Picture winner of this decade that I dislike. Obviously there are ones that I disagree with, that I would have voted for something different, but there aren't any that I dislike.
Right.
I would say I honestly like, it depends on the day. I understand why people don't like the optics of Green Book, though I still think it's a nice movie.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. I look at Green Book like how I look at grilled cheese. Like, like it's satisfying. It's enjoyable. After I'm done eating it, I'm just like, oh, that was a good grilled cheese. But I'm not necessarily impressed that you made it. You know?
Okay.
But like, I think it's a good movie, and you know, a nice lesson, if not like, you know, a little dated, but whatever. I truly don't know, because I can pick apart flaws in each of them. I don't know. It's I would say maybe either. I'll say Green Book. I'll just say Green Book for the grilled cheese analogy.
I do love that grilled cheese analogy. That's fair.
Oh, do you want me to list the Best Picture winners for you?
No. I'll just say Moonlight Best.
Okay.
And Birdman, of the ones I've seen.
You did. What did you hate more? The King's Speech, which you always talk shit on.
Boring.
Birdman, which you really hated,
Yeah.
or The Shape of Water.
Ooh, I hate all of those. I found Birdman to be the most annoying.
Okay.
I found The King's Speech to be boring.
I like The King's Speech. I mean, I would have voted for The Social Network, obviously.
Of course.
And The Kids Were All Right, which we both love.
Oh, that was great. And I found The Shape of Water to be gross. Okay. But I wasn't like upset with the storytelling.
Okay.
Birdman was the most frustrating for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a fair answer. Yeah. I have to say, I don't dislike any of these Best Picture winners, though. Like, even
That's
if
fair.
I'm not, like, in love with some of them, I still haven't enjoyed all of them.
Right.
So what about Grammy Award winners?
All right, I've been looking at the Grammy Award winners since we've been speaking. I think it is definitely between, for my favorite, I think it's between 21, of course, which is just such a classic album, and I think Fearless by Taylor Swift.
No, that's not in this decade.
It was 2010.
Well, it's 2010. But are we counting?
That's the thing. I don't know what we're counting.
It was awarded in 2010.
It was awarded in 2010.
I count that as 2009.
All right. Well, on the Wikipedia, it says 2000.
It's not when it's awarded.
All right.
It's when it came. It's like the people who think that The King's Speech won Best Picture for 2011. It's like, no, it was for 2010. It was just given the award in 2011.
I have a lot less invested into this, so we'll go with
I'm
you.
an award show person. This is what we care about.
All right, well then 21 by Adele, I completely agree with.
Okay.
I think 1989 is also a great album that won in the decade. I have not listened to a lot of the best albums, the Grammy Award for Album of the Year for like rock albums I don't care about, but the one that I'm most upset with is Beck's Morning Phase, or whatever the fuck beat Beyonce's self-titled. I mean, I was a little mad at Adele because she won for 21, and 25 is just 21 but a little worse. But
25 is still good.
25 is so good, and she's so
good.
likable, and like she dedicated the award to Beyonce, and like what else could she do? Beyonce, like Lemonade was such an artistic statement that I think we forget sometimes how huge the self-titled album and era were, and how it completely changed music forever. And the fact that songs get released on Fridays instead of Tuesdays is because of that album. And I just think that was such a mistake. And then also the backlash of people being like, the reason that Beyonce didn't win for her album is like, look at all the people that worked on it, and look at Beck is the only person that worked on his album. And it's like, that's not what the award is.
Yeah, that literally means nothing.
It doesn't have anything to do with anything.
Because all those people who worked on that album would have gotten a Grammy Award.
Exactly. And doesn't make him a more amazing artist, because no one gave a fuck about that album until that night. No one talked about that Beck album at all.
But did you listen to the album?
No.
So then you can't pick it as your least favorite because you haven't listened to it.
I can, and I have.
So I'm just gonna go through the albums that won Album of the Year that I have actually listened to. I would say Adele, 21.
Yes.
Because Fearless was 2009, and that was not
right.
mistaken.
No one cares.
This is important. And of the albums I've listened to in full that have won, I'm gonna say 24 Karat Magic is my least favorite.
You hate 24.
I like, what songs do I like? I like Versace on the Floor. I like that song a lot.
What about
obviously That's What I Like is really good, and Finesse is great.
I like Chunky.
Chunky's okay. But everything else on that one, I'm kind of just like,
It is my least favorite Bruno Mars album.
Yeah.
I feel like he should have won for Unorthodox Jukebox, despite that ridiculous title. I love so many of those songs, and I think it's his best. But, he was a huge act during 24 Karat Magic, so we love that band. And a great performer.
This is an interesting question that has nothing to do with the email My Heart. I'm so sorry.
Yes.
That someone asked me personally. That my friend Nate said.
Okay.
Why are you saying that J-Lo doesn't have the catalog to perform the Super Bowl halftime show?
Yes.
Yet Bruno Mars, who had only been like really big for like 2 years, was considered to have the catalog.
Because his hits are bigger.
Okay.
Like, I feel like he went a lot of singles deep every time. People know like songs of his that even weren't official singles. Like, people knew "Marry Me," people knew "Runaway Baby,"
and he was more recent.
It was more recent. Like, in the past 10, 15 years, you could sit here and rattle off a bunch of Bruno Mars songs, and I feel like his combination of music that cut through and were huge hits, and the fact that he is an excellent performer tied it together and made it was like, oh, this makes sense. Him being the halftime performer, it's like, I can't think of someone I'd rather see on a stage, especially a man, than Bruno Mars. And J-Lo is an incredible performer who has middling hits, and the biggest ones happened 20 years ago. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
So Nate, I appreciate your thoughts, but yeah,
that's the answer.
That is why.
So I love this. This question is from Timeless Toddy. And the subject line is manufactured trash, which is the best subject line of an email I've ever gotten.
Yes, of course.
Hey, Matts, I recently discovered that one of my favorite early Naughties album, I love that, Shut Up by Kelly Osbourne, was finally added to Spotify. It has been such a joy to rediscover it in 2019, so you can imagine my dismay when I found an old article where she called her own album manufactured trash. Do you guys have any songs or albums that you love, but the artist themselves deeply regrets? Take it away, Matt Palmer.
If Brandy says another bad word about aphrodisiac, I will melt into a puddle. Like, she is, I think, the queen of my album didn't do well, and so it's bad. And it hurts my heart because it's like that is one of your best albums. And the fact that you talk like, oh, it just wasn't right. Like, it was too this, it was too that. Like, people want to hear me with Rodney. Like, it's just like, no, I feel like being able to stand up for your work, whether or not it is like a giant hit or not, is the good thing. Because even if it wasn't a huge hit, there are people who are fans of that work. Don't, yuck their yum and you're the artist about it. It like kind of, I don't know. It just kind of takes the wind out of my sails a little bit when people do that. Even Mariah will say nice things about Charm Bracelet. And it's like, just because she's like, there are lyrical moments on that album. There are things that, some of my best works on that album. And, she has some lyrical moments on it. So I just think I don't know. For some reason, it almost feels like a betrayal to me. It's like, if you could sit there and promote this and go around the world and stand behind it at the time, don't just discount it because it wasn't a hit. Mm-hmm. And I don't know.
Especially when it's great.
Exactly. Like Aphrodisiac. And I don't know if that's the case for the Kelly Osbourne album. Maybe it was completely manufactured, but she was involved enough to want to put it out and want to promote it and want to shoot videos for it. So like, let the people who love it on you. I don't know. I'm going to
say something that will upset you.
Oh, God,
and that will probably upset Brandy. I prefer Aphrodisiac to Full Moon.
That's ridiculous.
I think Aphrodisiac's great.
It is great, and both of them are great. Your blind spot for Full Moon, I will never understand. That is such.
I liked it.
You didn't love it.
I liked it. There was that one song where like she couldn't like keep up with the tempo.
I disagree with you on that.
I'm like, you're behind, Brandy.
Just feel like Aphrodisiac is iconic and excellent and has very strong songs, but the Brandy sound.
Okay,
is
that's
so
fair. I don't know. I don't have
Moon.
a connection to the Brandy sound
Yes.
other than like impossible. Then like impossible.
Why are you down there?
I can't think of any popular music examples to answer this question, but I saw something recently. I forget if it was like a tweet or an article or something that Stephen Sondheim said at one point in his career that he regrets the song Next from Pacific Overtures.
Okay, here we go.
Steven.
Who's definitely listening.
Mr. Sondheim.
Oh my God.
Pacific Overtures is one of your most interesting score, period.
Okay.
Crazy show. That finale, Next is the finale song, and it is an ensemble number all about the sudden globalization of Japan.
What?
and their economy.
Okay.
And how they branched out into the world.
Okay.
You would think it is the most useless, ridiculous song on the planet.
Right.
when I tell you I weep when I hear it. It is so brilliantly done, and for some reason it makes me so emotional. And Stephen Sondheim, if you ever talk shit about your own song next, I will come over and I will bang on your piano keys and wake you up in the middle of the night, and we will have a discussion.
Wow.
Because next, we have to do for Patreon. We have to do Pacific Overtures.
Okay.
It's gonna be a while.
Like it?
It's gonna be a while down the road for you to get the Pacific Overtures. We're gonna have to listen to a couple more Sondheims before you graduate to Pacific Overtures.
Is that the most difficult listen of his works?
It's you'll see.
Okay.
You'll see if you like kabuki music mixed with show tuney type song. It's pure genius.
Sounds
and
like a
next is just it's fucking exquisite.
Another example of this, that I just thought of. Avril Lavigne for a long time would not play Complicated in concert because she thought it was like, this is trash and like not representative of me. And it's like, how dare you? If you do not get up there and sing fucking Complicated. I paid for a ticket here
for you to sing Complicated.
I assume she does it again now, but I think she looks back angrily and unfondly at her work with The Matrix, but it's like, Let Go is literally perfect in every aspect of its, existence. So please, like, as much as you might have negative personal feelings about that time in your life, that album's iconic.
Wow.
Iconic.
Avril.
I know.
Jesus.
Lots of people do that. They get sick of their biggest hit and they're like, we're not doing it anymore. And it's like, nope.
It's like, no, we're doing it.
Mariah got sick of Hero, and you know what she did? Kept singing it.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
And then it came back around. She's like, you know what? I like it now. For years, she's like, yes, it really affects some people.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I wrote it for someone else,
it
but
wasn't really written for me. Like, my vocal's not really what I would do, but here we are. So yeah, but even she has stopped shading Hero. So if she can get over the Hero, you can get over Complicated.
Yes.
All right.
I agree.
We are now at the last segment of the show. Oh, we love a segment, don't we? So Matt Steele, talk about Judy. That's literally what the segment, Giving You Moments, Darling, is all about. Matt Steele and what he's loved this week, and then about me and what I've loved this week. And what Matt Steele has loved this week is clearly Judy. So I think,
and I've loved a lot the week.
You have. You've loved the impeachment inquiry.
When we're talking about moments, of course, like Big Brother finale moment. Like, whew, that was a moment, but that was like a dark moment. That was like a I'm stressed about this moment.
Yes.
Guys, I was so afraid all year that Judy would disappoint.
Yeah.
And that it would just be a run-of-the-mill biopic. When I tell you the movie is exquisite. And when I tell you her performance is one for the fucking ages. She is so excellent in this movie. And I'm gonna talk about her performance just for the podcast, because let's do a Judy review for the main channel.
All right, I'm gonna see it Tuesday, so we can.
Matt Palmer is seeing it Tuesday, and we have to talk about it. So I will go more in depth about it on the main channel. So I'm just gonna talk about Renee's performance. When I tell you this was a comeback unlike anything I've ever seen, I've said it before and I'll say it again. What's so brilliant about it is that it is not a Judy impression. She's not trying to do a Judy impression. She's not trying to wow you with the impression. But she's there. She still looks and her physicality there's one moment where she sings the song by myself in one single take. And when I tell you her physicality is just, I couldn't breathe throughout the entire thing. It's so spellbinding.
Is she singing live, on video? Do we know?
She is singing. It sounds like from my ear, it sounded like she was only singing live. She sings Over the Rainbow. Spoiler alert, guys. She sings Over the Rainbow at the end, which is just oh my God, just incredible. So you can tell she's singing live there, but you can tell the other songs she went into the studio and is lip syncing to it. She so perfectly walks that fine tightrope between fragile and strong that you are just on edge the entire movie, and you're rooting for her and you believe in her and you empathize with her so much. And she's just, to go back to it, it's not just a Judy impression. It is telling the story of a woman who is incredibly famous and who has touched the lives of so many people and who means so much to so many people. And all the fuck she wants to do is go home to her kids and build up because the whole premise is she isn't able to find work and she just wants to be with her kids and give her kids a good life. So she takes on this London show for several months so she can make a lot of money and afford to go home and retire with her kids essentially. And that's all she wants to do. And the entire movie, I'm just thinking about Britney.
Really? I was going to say your description is very Britney.
But everything about it is just so touching. I'll get into it in the main channel about how these people just love her so much, and how she starts to realize those things, and her performance is, I can't even talk about it enough in a well-articulated way. Just see the movie. She is unbelievable. She's winning the Oscar. Sorry to everyone else in contention. Renee Zellweger is winning the Academy Award. She's so excellent.
So do you think she's like fully coming back after this? Like she should be in more things? Like, because she's been kind of off the radar for a minute.
Oh yeah. Right? And she took a break, and she was well rested from that break, because she is just giving you moments every single solitary second. Wow. They should never have cut away from her, because every moment you are just so fascinated by what she's doing on the screen. She's so excellent. Oh, right.
I'm looking forward.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see it. I have a couple little things that have been giving me moments. I have not seen Judy, so it did not give me a moment. Okay. But it gives me moments that you got a moment.
Of course, and it'll give you moments on Tuesday.
Exactly. So 2 things that are silly. Okay, the Housewives.
Okay.
I feel like there is something about the Real Housewives. I've always loved them, of course, but once a Housewife franchise gets into like its 4th or 5th season, it kind of... most of them kind of have a downturn. Most of them, it's like a lot of these ladies have been on there for a long time. They know what they're trying to do. They're trying to be Bethany, sell something, trying to, hawk a product. Don't really want to get into the dirt and get in the mess, and don't want to, have the drama that people are watching for. Like, people want to see how these women interact and how they, get in these discussions and these kind of involved scenarios where they kind of are in, they're fighting, but about things that are interesting. It's not just like we're just yelling for no reason. It's like, it's a lot of the way people interact. And it's also women of a certain age, which I love seeing on screen. But I feel like at that point, around seasons 4 or 5, a lot of them take a little bit of a dip, because it's like, okay, we've been doing this for so long. I know how to look good. I know what I should say on camera and what I shouldn't.
And I imagine like the really fun people like start to leave.
Yes,
like,
sometimes leave. Sometimes people leave. Sometimes good people leave. And sometimes they are bringing in a lot of new people who don't really fit in the group, just to like try to keep it fresh. But what has happened is we've discovered, as things have gotten even further on, sometimes around seasons 8, 9, 10, the cast, they find a really good cast and none of them really leave, or maybe 1 or 2 will leave every once in a while. But like, it's a cast of some people from a long time ago, some people coming in that middle section where we're bringing new blood back, and they kind of, in a weird way, find a balance. Everyone gets older and less concerned with how they're coming across, and so they become being messy again. And it's like, Real Housewives of New York has done this so beautifully. Like, people are so obsessed with that show because it's literally women who are just do not give a fuck about how they look on camera. They're getting drunk. They are fighting. Just like, I'm allowed to not be likable. Like, this whole idea of like every woman on screen needs to be likable. It's like, no, I can be a fucking monster, because sometimes I can be a monster.
We're all monsters, guys.
And I feel like there was a nervous part of me that was like, oh, maybe once they get to this level, they've been on it for so long, they will put up a veneer and it won't be broken down. That's been proven to be untrue with the Housewives of New York. Then this week, a new trailer for both the Real Housewives of New Jersey and the Real Housewives of Atlanta have come out. And I mean, obviously, some people can make amazing trailers and then have the final product not be that good, especially on a TV show, which has like, 20 episodes or whatever in a season. But I am cautiously very optimistic. I think neither of the casts changed from their prior season, so they all know each other very well. And Atlanta changed a bit because they brought back Kenya Moore, who was one of those people who came in season 4, season 5, and she was kind of a lot and very much a mess and a shit stir, and like, you kind of didn't like her at moments, but then once she was gone, you really felt.
She's not the one who made up the rumor that Candy was trying to rape somebody.
She's never been back. Phaedra has been gone, and Candy has said if she ever comes back, I will leave. But Kenya is just, she was kind of the single girl for a long time. All she wanted was a family and a baby, and the other wives kind of, when they would get mad at her, I was like, well, at least I have a man. Like, at least I have a baby, and what do you have? Like, that kind of thing. So she comes back now. She has gotten married. She has a baby. It has just come out like in the past couple of weeks that she is getting a divorce, which is sad. But you see the trailer and you see how she's mixing it up again, and how it just adds a balance back to the show. It's like, we want drama, but we want things to be moving forward. We want some conflict, but some resolution. It feels like that's happening. Jersey just looks off the rails. Like, literally, it's like old school, like someone's weave is getting pulled. And it's just like, I don't know. Maybe I think that I don't know. A part of me was a little worried that like maybe these shows have a shelf life and maybe we're reaching it. But it seems like once the ladies get to a certain point of being like, you know what, fuck it, I don't care. I'm going to just like put it all out there and like... It becomes interesting again. And like, I'm very invested in both of these storylines and both of these shows. I can't wait for them to come back. Cause honestly, right now it's Real Housewives of Orange County and Real Housewives of Dallas that are on. And it's like,
You don't watch either of those.
I don't watch either of those. And Vanderpump Rules isn't on. And so I'm kind of like just having Potomac to get me through. And this is the last night of the reunion tonight. So I'm excited that both of these are coming back in November. I believe Vanderpump Rules will come back in December, hopefully. And I don't know. I'm just ready and I'm excited. The second thing that's been giving me moments this week is they've released a Mario Kart app.
Oh, thank you so much for listening.
And I won't talk about it for too long, but like, Nintendo's so fucking iconic. Like literally, I am not a video game head in any other avenue, but like truly Nintendo has been knocking it out of the park. I bring my Switch to work, and whenever I'm like taking a lunch break and don't want to talk to people, I'll just go in my car and play my Switch.
See, I am so far removed from the video game world that like when I think of video games, I think of, a Nintendo. Like I don't think of Nintendo as its own separate thing.
Oh yeah, it's like Nintendo is the company.
Yeah. See, to me, I'm just like, they're playing a Nintendo.
No, like because there are PlayStations and there's the Microsoft Xbox.
It's like DC, Marvel. Don't know the difference, guys.
Well, I'm just saying everyone should get on Mario Kart Tour. The controls are a little hard to get a hang of, but the graphics are really good, and it's cool because it's like you earn new levels as it goes on. You earn new characters. I don't know. It's fun, and I can't recommend it enough.
You know what? You earned talking about that for as much as I talk about Big Brother on this podcast.
I appreciate that. I'm glad we're in agreement in that. Well, guys, I think that's it for us. Thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure to go to our main channel, youtube.com/2gaymats for videos every single week. If you want to become a patron, go to patreon.com/2gaymats. And for as little as $1 a video, you get an extra bonus video from us every single week. We just put up a reaction to the Normani motivation music video, which, is still iconic, still works. And make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Matt Palmer Music.
And it's Matt Steele.
And at 2Gay Mats for the both of us. Do you have anything else to tell the people?
We'll see you at the Judy movie review on our main channel. Because I'm making Matt Palmer do it.
I will do that. I'm excited to see Judy. I don't know anything about her. So
he doesn't know anything about Judy Garland, guys.
I know she's Wizard of Oz?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great. Jesus I know that.
Christ. Jesus Christ.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening. We'll be back soon with another brand new 2Gay Mats podcast.
Bye, guys.
Bye.